Will you look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember? I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a lovely week. I know I did a typo in the comments. Hope you have a lovely week.
Do you know that week you did a load of stuff like that? You talked at the start, and then everyone went, the mic's muted or something. I'm half expecting that to come off. Got Dave tonight, though. Dave's watching. This is local.
Everyone.
Got Ben and Holly, and we've got Rachel. Gareth yet to show his face, but he will. I know what he's like. But without further ado, we're going to bring on our guest, is Elise from Drayton Talk and Themeatically Sanity.
Oh.
And everyone check out the links at some point. They're all in the description. Mm-hmm. But before we talk about Drayton Manor, and all, because you're very knowledgeable about Drayton Manor, you're going to know a lot more than most. I think everyone in the chat today, you're going to know more than them. But Coasters with Moi as well. Also, this isn't related, but I just want to ask Coasters with Moi, are we doing a catwalk style fashion show at Forbidden Valley on opening day because Nemesis is open? That sounds like something that you want to do, Ollie. So no one else will get that. No one else will understand that.
Referring to one of your vlogs as well there.
But I started this last week. I just Googled half an hour before the show theme park news and see what come up. And everyone knows about what's coming up this week, I think, because last week it was random headlines. But I want to ask Elise about the... is it a weather balloon? I don't know if it is a weather balloon. I've been calling it that. What did you think about the reveal of this balloon?
I like it. I think it's definitely a unique way for them to sort of, promote Nemesis again. I don't know if it's still there. I think it'd be cool if it was sort of still there for people to kind of go and see, but definitely a bit different and a good way to sort of advertise it.
I didn't know it was an alien hotspot. Well. Did you know it was an alien hotspot?
Nope, I did not. I've actually visited Cannock a few times and I've never heard that before, so it's a surprise for me as well.
And do you think, I'm just theorizing myself because I think it might, do you think that's going to be on or near the structure?
Maybe not the giant weather balloon version, but I think we'll get an eye of some kind on the station, where the original one used to be at the front. They're going to put one there, and I'm hoping it'll have some sort of like screen or LED sort of response to it. I'm hoping what you're going to see is when the car kind of goes past, the eye's going to sort of like look up to sort of follow it almost.
Yeah.
Oh, like they actually fill that wall in along this, that's straight in front of you when you come out of the station. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool, yeah.
I somehow think, I already think with what they've already got, I think like a projection like they would do with Wicker Man. So like they'd have the eyeball blank and then obviously the blinking, they'd use projection of it moving. Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool if they kind of keep the maintenance going on it as well.
Yeah.
That's something they need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, completely agree.
And the other story I've got is the story of a park that changed its logo in the space of a day, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. It was the one on the left, and now it's the one on the right. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, at least.
We've gone from Megabus to Mentos, I think, with this one.
Yes.
I still don't like the lettering of it. I mean, I'm a fan of the classics with Pleasure Beach. They should have just put Mr. Funshine back there. But yeah, it might grow on us eventually. I mean, the Drayton Manor logo grew on us, so maybe this.
I wasn't going to bring that up because I didn't know. Are you allowed to talk about it quickly? Your thoughts on it? Or
anyone in the comments? What do you think about the Pleasure Beach logo? Whichever one, as well.
Are we allowed to talk about the Drayton Manor logo quickly, or?
Yeah, we can do. I again, very much like I've just said with this one. I when they released the first one, the new one, I was again going, I prefer the old logo. But as I've seen it more and more over the season, it's kind of grown on me a bit more. And I think it's kind of the impression that everyone else has got now. They've gotten used to the new logo. It's still obviously a bit weird seeing the old logo in certain places around the park. Like I think it's still on the Dodgem cars last time I checked. But it's growing on us, and I think it's all right now. But I remember when it first got released, everyone was just there going, not a big fan of that. But I think that's just the thing would change really for everyone. But we're not changing our logo, so it's all good.
Have you noticed though that they've gone for plain sort of simplistic logos? Most theme parks nowadays.
Park.
But yeah, if you go on the actual individual rides themselves, they're really detailed.
I feel like
I don't know if that's just a sensory thing for me. It's like, welcome, we're lovely and calm, but then get on the ride and we've got everything. You know, I don't know what it is, but
I don't really want to talk about Thought Park really, but just quickly on that, I think Thought Park's like looks the most bland of all three if we're going to talk about Drayton Manor and Blackpool. But I also think Thought Park, what the Bulks, when they released it, there's actually like 2 semicircles on either side of it now, so it looks similar to the Infinity shape, which they didn't put on it when it first got released. But, are you part of Coast Club of Great Britain at all? Anything like that? Dave says he's going to the trip. I would have thought. No.
Nope, just Drayton Talk and Theme Park Insanity for me.
So I'll bring up some photos as well, but do you want to just talk about where your love of Drayton Manor started? Like, do you remember, was it long ago or?
Well, it's one of those parks which has been my local park for the longest time. So it's the one that we always used to end up going to as a kid. And obviously, it's one of these ones that we used to go to quite a bit, and then we stopped visiting because, you know, when it's that thing that families do where they sort of visit a lot together, and then when you hit a certain age range, you just stop visiting places. And then I continue with my love of theme parks and stuff, and sort of started visiting again after a surprise Mother's Day visit there because I decided to take my mom there. It was a good day. There was hardly any queue. She quite enjoyed it. But yeah, I've kind of just. That's kind of why I think I like that one so much. It's always been the closest one and quite a nostalgic one for us as well. So I've been there for way too many years, I think, at this point. And then obviously I joined Drayton Talk and I now go a lot more.
Oh, did you not start Drayton Talk?
That's lovely though.
So
talk to you seem like the person who knows the most out of anyone I've ever met about Drayton.
No, I actually started off as originally one of the forum dwellers, as I'm going to call them. And I started off on the forums, sort of talking to people on there and, you know, expressing what I thought about the park and stuff. And the forum actually closed down for a few years. A few people may remember that. And then we had a grand return some point last year, I think, if not year before. Can't quite remember the exact dates. And then not too long after that, I ended up joining the team. And I do quite a bit of the social media stuff. Usually people will see me running around the park with a camera or with Rory or somewhere else.
That's awesome. I love the story how you like came to be and everything, and the fact that it's quite close to you as well. You know what I mean? Because of the sentimental and the happy memories as well. Oh wowza! What is that on there? Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the pictures. It's the little dragon. Sorry, I'm
Are you meant to be impressed with Rory?
I'm impressed with Rory as well, but it's the Viking thing. I've not actually been in the Viking area, so yeah.
Yeah, that was during the Viking event.
Do you remember the first time you met Rory?
Weirdly enough, it was last year.
Really?
This is going to sound really weird because basically, as much as I used to visit the park, for some reason, we didn't really interact with the characters very much. But last year, it was actually during Dinosaur Breakout again. We met them walking around the park there. And then, as you can see from some of these pictures, it's kind of been a thing that we've ran into each other every visit. It's quite funny, actually, because now we get to that point where they recognize us. And Rory usually sneaks up on me in the park. And speaking of Rory's, I've also got my...
Hey!
Oh, so cute.
Speaking of the old logo, if I bring him forward a bit, he's got the old logo on there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're going to release some new Rory merchandise, just because we need new logo Rory, basically. So
that'd be cute.
What are they like for pin badges at Drayton? Do they jump on that craze yet?
They've started releasing pin badges, but they've only got 3 or 4 at the moment. So they've got one for the main logo and then a couple of Vikings ones. But hopefully we're hoping for more pin badges because I've got a whole board of pins in the corner of the room somewhere upstairs. but they haven't got too many at the moment.
I've just noticed Rollercoasters are also like Team Rory as well, because I've just seen the little Rory. Yay! Just backtracking a little bit here as well. There's been a few more comments about, it was at the Blackpool logo. Just scroll up again, just bear with me. So with the Blackpool logo.
Yeah, so that supermarket logo.
We'll probably loop right round to it again in a minute. So apologies if we've not actually got back to that one. But some people are actually looking into doing Drayton Manor this year as well.
I think a lot of people have to because of the new coaster, which I do have some photos that Elise.
Yeah.
So was this the Halloween event last year?
Yes. So we went and visited the Halloween event. I was really busy at this year, so I didn't get to do the whole Halloween event. I only did like parts of it. But I realised in some of the photos that Rory's friend over there had the same coat that I actually already had. So I decided to take my one along and surprise him.
Oh, that's cool.
Has anyone ever thought you work at Drayton when you're there?
Not at the moment that I'm aware of, but sometimes it does feel like it when I'm showing people, pictures and stuff. Usually people look confused, and it's usually me that ends up being, I'm that sociable person who turns around and goes, do you need help? So I do help out a bit here and there. Oh, there's no one from Dinosaur Breakout this year.
Oh, wow. That's the biking event, isn't it?
Yeah, so Vikings Festival. They had, one of the things they brought in for that event was a fire show. And it was really cool. As you can see, there's a range of Viking style performers doing some really cool fire tricks as well. So that was great. They also had, obviously, Rory had a new show for that one. But the events were really, really quite good last year. So looking forward to a lot more of those this year.
Yeah, good photos. These are really good shots.
Rachel Jones
credit to the person that took them, of course.
Rachel's asking, is it worth it for an 8-year-old at Drayton Manor?
Ooh.
I'd say so, yes. There's kind of rides that suit all ages, and what they're trying to do as well is they're trying to focus on a more family-focused, family thrill, family-focused sort of atmosphere. So a lot of the rides that they're opening and changing are now designed for that younger audience. And I think, yeah, an 8-year-old would definitely enjoy it. There's some rides, obviously. There's Thomasland. It's not all Thomasland, but there are quite a lot of rides in Thomasland.
Yeah.
Those rides, again, are quite enjoyable for adults and kids as well. But I think they probably enjoy all the rides outside of Thomasland as well. And, with the new coaster and the changes to Shockwave this year, I think they'll enjoy both of those as well. So if they like rides, definitely. But if they don't like rides as well, there's a zoo and there's plenty of things to walk around. So, yeah, I'd recommend it.
Awesome. Do you know, this sounds really silly because I work long hours, but in terms of the change to like Shockwave, is it like seated ones, isn't it, that's going on?
It changed to seated cars, yeah.
Okay. So I was like, so technically would it be like a new cred?
I was going to ask that, yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but I was just like, I've heard of this.
I don't know if Elise does creds or not.
I started counting and then realised I don't have as many as I probably should. As far as the creds are concerned with Drayton Manor, I just start the same argument every couple of months on our social media pages, because what we end up posting is for a cred or not, and it starts a big argument because some people say yes, some people say no. But they've got the same argument with Nemesis at the moment at Alton Towers, saying, is it a new cred, is it not, because it's been retracked. I personally say that it would be a new credit, because it's a new experience. Instead of standing up, you're sitting down. Well, I think it does count. I'm probably going to get a lot of messages to Drayton Talk later saying you're wrong, but that's what I think. It's a new experience, so it's a new credit.
I can't remember if I mentioned it.
I think I'd agree with you on that one, because it is a new, like, you're sat in a different position, so you've got a different way of experiencing what's going on around you rather than standing.
I'd say Thor is a cred because
I'm looking
of
at
the parts on it. Well, I was just going to quickly mention, I mentioned this to the Joneses last week off air, actually. It was in conversation, but if you want to start a conversation where people argue about whether it's a cred or not, ask them if Drench at Oakwood is a cred, because of all the elements that are used in the lift hill and everything. It always, on forums around the internet, it always used to get a lot of people arguing. That was like the one ride I remember people going, is Drench at Oakwood a cred? Yes, it is. No, it isn't. And they just argue for ages. But I think Thor's a cred. I think what Drayton have done, I don't know if you'd agree, they've made rides that aren't intense look good and look potentially intense. So like if you're a kid that goes into the Viking area, seeing that, I don't know if it's pronounced Nebulas or Nebula Z. So I
Nebulas.
apologize. Nebulas.
I think
If you see that, for example, it's not the most intense ride, but to look at it, it kind of has that edge, and a bit with Thor as well. It's not really that intense, but
it looks.
Yeah. I think it's great for kids like that who don't want to do intense stuff, but you can kind of convince them they've done something intense. And
So Sibby Vlogs has put, yes, I'm counting the sit-down version as a new cred. Thor is not a cred though. And then Dave's Adventures put, I'm not counting it. And then Ben and Holly's Theme Park Adventures put, if Thor is a cred, Squirrel Nutty is too.
we're not going to spend our time talking about
I think we're going to start a debate.
We're not going to talk about creds.
That will fill the entire hour perfectly.
I'll leave the cred situation with this.
Leave it for Drayton.
If it's got to be about the parts on the ride to a degree, but also if Thor's not a cred, then Runaway Mine Train can't be because it doesn't coast. It's powered. So we'll leave it there.
I appreciate the comments, but yeah, be nice.
So have you? When I saw these photos, it reminded me of I don't know if you saw them, Elise. The promotion photos with the people dressed up for Valhalla at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Yeah, I see what you mean with that.
Gives you that kind of vibe or not?
It kind of does. The main reason it does is because it's a really weird side fact as well. On the side of all the theme park stuff, at one point I did Viking reenactment. So it does remind me a bit of Valhalla just because it's not authentic Viking clothing. But I'd say that it was very similar to that. But I think I know the main comment that I kept seeing around Valhalla in their promotional images was a lot of people were comparing it to Hot Ice with the sort of style that they were wearing there.
Yeah.
More theatrical, I think. Yeah, these guys, the 5 performers there, I believe they're from an external sort of performer group.
They actually outsourced them.
Yeah. So I think that's because I know a lot of the events had a lot of outsourced performers come in. Like there was a whole samba band for the Fiestival event as well.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So it's quite cool because it gives them opportunities to come in.
It makes me wonder because some of the performers that I've seen on like other people's vlogs and stuff, if they were similar to the people when they did like the 5 performers for Extreme Screen. You know, they go on the little stage and like
Extreme Screen will be
little
outsourced.
Things like that. So it just kind of reminded me of that, really.
Ghosts with the Joneses. I'm guessing that's Andy from Ghosts with the Joneses. This is controversial, but I didn't enjoy riding Shockwave. I'm going to enjoy riding Shockwave.
Not controversial, because I agree.
I enjoyed the experience that it was different. I don't know. Do you think it's going to have the same appeal now it's sitting down, at least?
It's an interesting one. A lot of people are quite negative towards it from what I've seen. A lot of comments of people saying, you're taking away what made it special. But I personally think it will probably have more appeal, if not be more appealing for people, just partly because, seeing how the ride is in a new experience. And also for those people who may have been intimidated by the idea of being a stand-up. I know I personally was, because I'm not the tallest person in the world. So I was probably pushing quite close to that height limit that they've got for it. But I reckon it will probably appeal to people a lot more now. But yeah, I agree. It was not very comfortable, especially when you're as short as I am.
Did you ever get to ride it facing backwards?
I did not. I don't know if that would make it better.
No, I know some. I never got to do it, but I know some theme park groups got to do it.
Yeah, I feel like that would make it worse because you'd be going on your back.
So, do you visit the Merlin parks a lot or not?
Yeah, I do. This is probably going to get me in trouble, Drayton, but I'm actually a pass holder for them as well.
So I was going to ask what you thought about. We're going to talk about some of the events and how it compares to the offerings we get at like Alton Towers and Thorpe Park, and what you think about.
Okay. So
for example, Summer Nights. Do you want to explain to people what that was? Yeah.
So Summer Nights was the late night openings of the park during the summer. It was quite a cool event. They kind of added in, they had the stage where they had the DJ playing with different music themed around different sort of themes. Like at one point there was a 90s themed weekend. There was a boy band weekend. Anyone who's a fan of Taylor Swift, they had a Taylor Swift night. So they had different music playing on the stages. it was open till late, and they had some nice, quite a nice atmosphere on the park. And they also introduced a few different like food and drink offerings. And I believe Rory also had a summer show as well for the event. As you can see up there, Shockwave did get a temporary rename to Shockwave. That was not a permanent thing, unfortunately. It was just a promotion for the Summer Nights event.
It should have been.
Yeah, I think I would have loved them to just, fill the station with sort of not strobe lighting, but some sort of flashing disco lighting.
Disco ball, yeah.
I think it would have been really fun. But no, that sign only lasted for 1 or 2 days as part of the promotion for the Summer Nights event. But it was nice. It was quite relaxed vibes around the park. It was never overly busy either when I was visiting. Maybe I just got lucky and picked the right times to go. I'm not too sure on that one.
Did it stay? I could have this wrong now. When you had the Halloween event, did they close the park at the end of the day and then reopen it for the Halloween event separately, or did the park stay open?
It stayed open for the entire duration, and then they opened up the attractions and stuff at later points.
I loved how they've included like all ages though. Like you've got Rory for the younger age, and then Swifty'd be like your teens, wouldn't it? 20s or whatever. And then you've got your 90s and 80s for like the, sounds horrible, but for the older generation. So it's like,
oh no, I did like because they released.
I think it's nice that they've got that differentiation.
I've not got a photo of it. They did actually release before the event, didn't they? Every weekend, what was going to be the theme for that weekend?
Yeah, they had the whole theme and stuff. They released them all. They released them, I think, a couple of months before the event was going to happen, and then they did reminders of them and stuff as well. But on top of that, they also had Thomas Land, doing their shows and stuff as well. So it really was something for everyone in that one.
Don't answer it if you're not allowed to, or if it's a secret. I don't know if it's a secret or not. But Sibby says, is it going to be a lap bar for Shockwave?
I think it might be. I think I've heard a few rumours saying it will be a lap bar. I mean, there's not too much information that has been revealed about Shockwave at the moment. I know the other day they started putting in the ride cars, but the only reason I know that is because somebody was a lot luckier than me and was actually on park on the day that they were, lifting one into place with the crane. So that image has been circulating around on social media. And that's the only reason I know that's there.
Oh, the lucky sausages.
Yeah. We was talking to them about, and they were just there going, yeah, I'm waiting to see if they put anything else on while I'm here, kind of thing. They didn't get that lucky. But I think from what we saw in that picture, it looks like they're going back to that original yellow colour scheme that the trains had before.
That'd be cool.
So that they look like, well, from the distance that we could see, we couldn't see a lot. But they look quite nice from that mile away distance that I saw. Blurry image, but they looked all right.
Did you experience Mardi Gras at any of the Merlin parks, and how did that compare to Fiestival?
I did. This is probably going to be one of those weirdly controversial thoughts of mine, but I actually preferred Fiestival to Mardi Gras. So this is probably going to be really controversial in a thought as well. I thought Fiestival's entertainment was a lot more widespread and a lot better. They had the circus performers just sort of on the side by the lake. Over at the stage, they had the samba dancers doing, the dances, but they were like properly in the crowd as well, properly walking through everybody with the big feathery outfits on, which were absolutely amazing. Compare that to stuff like Alton Towers, for example. Alton Towers, whilst yes, it had it all in one sort of hub area, very similar to how Drayton does, it kind of felt like the performers were staying to their areas, on these sort of floats and stuff. But Fiestival felt a lot more interactive and personal to me. Maybe a different experience for me.
Haven't Alton Towers stopped it for this year?
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones they've removed.
But yeah, I agree with you, but also Coast of the Joneses agree. It was better when it was spread out across the park, I think, rather than just being on the lawn for Alton Towers. But Dave's asking, he wants to know how you joined Theme Park Insanity.
Really weird question. How I joined the team for Theme Park Insanity, very similar to how I joined this team actually. They were looking for someone to help out in the team, and I was talking to them and decided, yeah, I'll put my name down. And had a conversation with them, and that's how that went. They turned around to me and said, "We'd like to have you join the team," and then I joined the team. Probably we'd spent a few times on trips together before. If you go back to Joe's vlog from Drayton Manor, weirdly enough, actually, if you have a look at that vlog, that was actually one of the early times that we met each other. So I'm in that vlog before joining the team, but that's probably how it went, really. I kind of put my name down and we get along, and they decided to go and join the team.
Do you have a lot of opposing opinions when it comes to Drayton Manor with like Joe from TPI?
Not really. I think we kind of have the same sort of opinions on a lot of things. Which is it's an interesting thing, actually. We kind of have like very similar opinions and wavelength for a lot of the things that we talk about from Drayton Manor, but also other parks as well. But I think we have very similar opinions on quite a bit of it, to be fair.
I've just realised from this photo, right, just because it's showing the end of Thor, that is a cred because it's a boomerang coaster.
What? Who said it? Who said it's not?
A lot
Someone
of people
said it wasn't.
Going back to that argument about the creds again.
I feel like there's a theme this week of controversial all the time at the minute. The word controversial. Start it.
So are these performers during Festival?
Yes, that was one of the ones during the Festival. So with Festival, during the circus performance that they had these two performers. There was this lovely lady on the sort of hoops and stuff, and they also had a guy doing the sort of aerial silks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
She was the best one for me to get photos of because the backdrop was just really perfect.
Yeah.
But they were brilliant. They were just like set up on the side of the lake, and they had like speakers, and then it was amazing.
Oh, Civi Vlogs. So big fan of Joe and TPR. You guys do some incredible work.
And Rachel's asking, I think she's asking about the nebulas. She's asking how fast is the nebulas?
I'd say it's not crazy fast. It can go a little bit quick when it gets started, but it's not like you're not going to throw up from it, I don't think. It's kind of like fast enough for you to catch a breeze, and when you get to the top, you might bounce a little bit in the seat kind of thing. It definitely looks faster than it is, I reckon. It's one of those rides, like it's very deceiving to watch because it's quite hypnotic, but it's also it looks faster than it should be. But it's not actually that fast. I find it relaxing.
What's your favourite ride in the Viking area?
Probably Loki, yeah.
Yeah.
Another question. What's your favourite ride at Drayton Manor?
Oh, is she going to be able to answer?
That's a hard question. I don't like questions like that. That's actually a difficult question. Probably at the moment, I'll probably say Accelerator. I know a few people are quite fond of that one, but yeah, I'd say Accelerator at the moment. Followed closely by The Haunting, just because that's it's one that people always seem to forget about, but I find it's a good experience in those fun.
I think they need to. I mean, they lean into it anyway, but I feel like the thing that some people don't like about The Haunting is the fact that it kind of doesn't take itself too seriously. But I think when you lean into that, that's what makes the ride more fun. It doesn't have to be serious like Hex as a comparison. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what your opinion is of that. I like the fact they kind of, it's like almost B horror movie, B movie sort of feel to it. I don't know if you agree.
Dr. Ghostman and the pink flowery mug are very popular. But it changed over Halloween when they did The Haunting Reclaimed. So what they did for that was they had The Haunting sort of very similar to how it is, but they took it back and brought back Dr. X and the original storyline as well. So it changed it up a little bit to kind of put it back to its roots without obviously changing the entire thing back. But that was really good.
We'll talk about the new roller coaster in a minute, but first we've got some more questions
in the comments, guys.
Ollie from Coaster with More is saying, do you miss Apocalypse?
To watch, yes, I miss watching it. Do I miss it? Absolutely not. Again, a very, very unpopular opinion. But I don't do drop towers. I never had any interest in riding Apocalypse, so I was never brave enough to go up there. But it was nice to watch.
Oh, you never went on it?
I don't do heights.
A lot of my friends nowadays, a lot of my friends in general that I know go to parks didn't actually experience all 3 of the drops on it.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
got to do all 3 of them, but I'm like you. I hate drop towers, but every time we went, I didn't want to kind of like chicken out of it. But every time I went on Apocalypse without fail, as soon as it left the station, I'd be thinking to myself, "Why am I doing this? I've done this loads of times. I don't need to prove anything." I never liked it.
I usually just looked at it and went, "No, thank you," and walked away again.
There's somewhere on the World Wide Web of me screaming.
Yeah, I've got a video of you screaming. I knew it was you. I was filming it from a distance.
Yeah.
I didn't see you.
And then you were like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Stacey."
that's my wife. Did you manage to experience G-Force?
I did. So another weirdly fun Drayton Manor memory. G-Force was my first ever roller coaster that went upside down. So
What was that like?
It was quite good. I think I never really. It's one of those times where I think I went on it thinking, "Why am I going on this?" But we were there for a sort of like a girl guiding trip because it was during the celebration event that we were doing with the park. It was a very long time ago, and the girls wanted to go on it basically, and then we were thinking, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm going with them." It was all right. I quite enjoyed it, and I think, well, I must have liked it because here I am, going on things like Nemesis now. So.
And Klondike Mine Train, he's asking about.
Ooh, that one was before my time, unfortunately. Did not get to go on that one.
I already know the answer to this one, but Kieran's saying, do you think Pirate Adventure will...
I want to say yes. However, I don't think it's going to return. And if it does, it won't return in the way that it was. I'd love to see something very similar to, Pirates of Batvia with that really cool refurbished pirate-themed ride. But
or
I don't
Thomas
know, I think the entire area is going to be rechanged. Like the whole pirate section may be rechanged at some point.
Getting loads of questions in. Joneses are asking, which ride do you miss the most from Drayton?
Well, I could say Pirate Adventure, but I just said that one. I'd probably say either Pirate Adventure or Excalibur. So again, Excalibur, one that is very popular on the forums. Unfortunately, again, very similar to Pirate Adventure. I think if it was to return, wouldn't return in the same way that it did. And I know the area that it was in, quite an interesting area to build on, natural waters and stuff. So, but I liked it. Medieval style boat ride with dragons. What's not to like?
I liked it. Yeah, I really thought it was. I feel like Drayton had a phase where
I didn't go on it.
All their rides. Sorry, can't see you there. all the rides that they had were kind of just quirky, like G-Force with its inverted lift, or Shockwave standing up, or Excalibur was a bit odd. I didn't like it when they took away the narration for the story.
Did you ever ride it when the narration was breaking down? So you'd have half the sentence and it would just cut off, and it like come back in randomly.
No, but I rode it a couple of times near the end where I rode it a couple of times near the end where there was no story, and the posh man's voice was just going every like 3 minutes and say, "Please remain seated at all times." And then at the end, you just see the dragon.
It's the only thing anyone ever remembers is that please keep your arms and legs inside the boat.
Joe's here. Which ride do you miss most about Drayton Manor? We'll ask him, see if he puts it in the chat. So we'll talk about these photos that you've passed over to me, but the new lift and launch coaster. I don't know if you want to fill the audience in on what's to come.
Okay, so what do I know about the coaster? Probably as much as everyone else, not a huge amount. So as you can see, we have got the all-new Intamin lift and launch coaster, which is still being built. As far as our last visit, the track is now pretty much in place, apart from 1 or 2 sections. It's really hard to get a good picture of the coaster at the moment, just because it's sort of tucked away behind everything else. But we should be getting closer in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. From what people have probably gathered through looking at the posters and the sort of theming around the top of the park that we can kind of see from the distance, It's going to be a sort of cowboy western themed area. Personally, I reckon we're going to see a sort of mine train theme here, mostly reassured by the posters that we've seen now with the sort of miners saying, we want you guys sort of to ride with us kind of thing. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting coaster with a mine sort of theme to it. There's no real theming in the area at the moment for the actual coaster, but that's what I'm personally thinking. You've probably also heard about the switch track that people have been seeing on the side. I don't think I've got any pictures of that, partly because I couldn't see it. The reason I couldn't see it is, again, I'm really short, so I can't see over construction fences like everyone else. But we think it's going to be really good. It's a family thrill coaster, but I think it's going to be something that's going to be for everybody.
Well, some of the banks on that, like in that photo there, it looks like it could throw you out to the side quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to really have some surprises to it. I think some people were saying that it might go backwards potentially, and change the speed as well, which would be quite good. This is where you're going to realize that my technical knowledge of roller coasters is not really very good. But yeah, like Joe's just said there, that's actually a name that I think as well. I do think Gold Rush is potentially the name that I would pick for it as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good name for it, actually.
So
yeah, it's got that gold to it.
Are Drayton likely to give a opening day for it, or are they likely to just soft open it?
I reckon they'll reveal an opening date for it. Obviously, it won't be as massive as, no offense to Drayton Manor, it's not going to be as big as Nemesis opening day, for example, where, you know, if anyone's been on, like, you know, Twitter, X at the moment, everyone's there going, who's going to opening day? And like everyone's there going, we are. But I think very similar to what they did with Submarine Splash, they'll announce an opening date, but I think it'll be a little bit more low-key than other parks are on their openings. So that's what I think. I mean, I don't think it's going to be open for the very start of the season. We've already had pass holders had an email about a pass holder day, and they've confirmed in that email that it's not going to be open for pass holder day on March 17th. So I think it's probably going to be later on in the year now.
Is that the first
theming element on there yet?
Is that the first time they've done a pass holder day?
Yeah, I believe so. It's the first one that they've done with the refurbished annual pass system.
Because that seemed like a really nice move from them to do something like that for their pass holders, I thought, when I saw that.
It should be a good day. I need to actually renew my annual pass at the moment. It expired last week. I'm waiting to get closer to the main season to redo it, I think. But it should be a good day. A lot of people are quite excited about it. It'll be the first chance that anyone gets to go further than the 4D Cinema Accelerator. So I think what they're planning on trying to do, I think they're going to try and open the rides on that street already. So Haunting, Drunken Barrels, which is looking like it's going to get a new name, Sheriffs as well. So I think all those are going to be open, but this one won't be just yet. But hopefully we'll be able to get a bit of a better look from that side to see what's actually going on with the coaster.
Yeah.
I haven't spoke about Drunken Barrels. You forget kind of sometimes some of the other rides at Drayton, because I just think that ride's amazing.
Yeah, I've had a few people turn around when I've been talking to people on forum, and they turn around and say, we didn't know that there was a ride over there, or we didn't know the Haunting was a thing, and that people are walking past these because they just don't know they're up there. It's a bit weird. But yeah, people keep walking past some of the rides up there, so I think it'd be good to sort of shed a bit of light on those rides a bit more.
I don't know if you're going to know anything about it, but Sibby's asking, will the new coaster have a pre-show?
I don't know. I think it would be cool if they did. I'd like the idea of a pre-show because that's one thing Drayton Manor is kind of missing. They don't really have many pre-shows. You have the one, obviously, for the Haunting, and there is the one on Sheriff Showdown on the little screens. I'm classing that as a pre-show because it's something you watch as you start the ride. But yeah, they don't really have many pre-shows. So I think if they really wanted to kind of go into that next level of theming and immersion in this new area, then yeah, I think a pre-show would be really quite a good move for them. even if it's not like a proper pre-show room, or if there's like a screen in the station above your head as you're about to be launched out or something like that, I think it'd be a good idea.
Would you like to explain to Rachel the greatness that is Drunken Barrels?
Okay, so Drunken Barrels, a little bit similar to Marauders Mayhem in that sort of teacup style turntable ride that goes around, but it's a little bit different. Obviously, Marauders Mayhem, it just spins and goes around in circles, and you spin yourself to go faster, and it's great until someone feels sick. With Drunken Barrels, it kind of does the same thing, but it has a bit of a surprise twist where it doesn't stay on ground level. It kind of like tilts to about that sort of angle, I'd say.
Yeah.
Really.
It's quite insane.
Yeah.
When you're actually on the ride.
It tilts you on this angle whilst you're still spinning yourselves and being spun around. Can be quite entertaining. It's a bit of an interesting one, though, because I remember at one point it stopped doing that. And then I remember at another point, there used to be seatbelts, and there was like an on-off thing for a couple of years where it said, like, put the seatbelts on, don't have the seatbelts on, you don't need the seatbelts. Yes, you do. They were back and forth with these seatbelts for the longest time. I don't think you even do the seatbelts anymore on there, but at one point it was like, you do have to wear them, and it's like, oh, you don't actually have to wear them, because I think they keep changing their mind on it. But
It's
yeah, Drunken Barrels is Marauders Mayhem, but a bit crazier.
I'd say it's a lot faster, and they also have. They must still have them, but when I last went, they had. They've like got padded bars at head height in case you get spun out.
I'm sorry, I can imagine Rollercoasters are us, bless, and finding out as well for the first time.
I can imagine that. It's definitely one of those things where you sit there and it moves, and you're like, oh. I actually had it break down on me once as well.
What, in that position?
Yeah, I was trying to go back down and it kind of got stuck halfway. But the guy was there like, you can continue spinning around until the maintenance team arrives.
Joining everyone.
There's just a few of us there spinning around, just waiting for these maintenance people. They fixed it really quickly though, so that's great.
It's incredible to watch because for people that haven't been there, just the structure, because it's an open air structure with a roof on it, but everything about that ride is just massive. To look at the ride and what's happening on a ride that big, it's just so. I don't know. I was just in awe of it.
Yeah, because it used to have as well when it was in the original theming with the sort of Drunken Barrels theme. There was a really, really, really giant lady at the front with two like beer steins at the front. I believe she's been removed now, though, unfortunately.
Oh, she's not there anymore.
Unless they're redressing her as a cowboy, but I'm fairly sure she got taken down.
She used to be a Pokestop on Pokemon Go.
She was.
She might still be, because Pokemon Go has a tendency to not update its Pokestops. So you might still find that there.
Do you get bonuses on Sheriff Showdown?
I do. That's probably one of the most annoying things about that ride is when you're going around and because like you're hitting all the targets and then all you just hear constantly in the background is the whole you got a bonus. And it's just all you hear around the ride is just you got a bonus on repeat constantly in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at that ride. Usually we have like little competitions between me and whoever else I'm riding with. I think I'm usually pretty good and tend to be the one with the highest score. I've just opened myself up for a challenge, so.
Just say welcome to everyone that's just joined us as well. I've just seen some more people say hello, so hello to you too. If you've got any questions for Elise, just put them down.
I assume she's going to understand what that means. I don't know what it means. Joe says.
I know exactly what that means.
Are you allowed to elaborate or not?
That's a Scarefest one from the invitation at Scarefest. If anyone was, anyone was fortunate enough to experience that fantastic experience.
Are you a fan of scare attractions, or are they not your thing?
Now I can kind of go off on a little side tangent here again. I do this a lot. You'll notice.
It's fine.
No, it's fine.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of scare attractions. And I can see somebody's just said the magic words Museum of Horrors in the chat as well. Mm-hmm. I look forward to meeting you tomorrow, is all I'm going to say. Did you go for the standard or the extreme?
Come on,
what did you go for?
Well, I I can't talk too much about the Museum of Horrors because I'm actually kind of involved in that.
Oh, okay.
Basically, as much as I enjoy going to scare attractions, I do a bit of scare acting on the side as well.
Oh, so you're secretly judging them?
Not intentionally, no. But yeah, I do like doing the scare attractions. Funnily enough, it was my first time doing all the Scarefest mazes last year. Just because, again, I just didn't get around to it beforehand. But yeah, it's I do enjoy a good scare attraction every now and then. Aww.
Let's just say welcome in Debbie. I hope I've got this right.
Hi, Debbie.
I think it's Debbie from I watch a live stream from Space Mountain Dave, and I'm sure she's involved with that.
Yes.
So, and she's referred to as Mama D on that a lot of times, so it's nice to see her on there.
Yeah, it just clicked actually. I was like, oh yes.
Well, we've got more photos here. I don't know if
what time is it over there. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to flick through these photos, and then because I've got a quiz lined up, which I think you'll ace it. To be fair,
give it a try. I've got my days mixed up. I thought it was Saturday tomorrow for some reason. I'm like on a different day apparently.
But Air Race, I'm a big fan of.
Air Race is one of those rides that everyone forgets about, I think, in the park.
I like the theming of the state, although it's minimalist. Just the fact it's like a hangar.
That's what I said about it.
What you always say that when I say stuff.
I hate the notion of it, and I'm like, I think it's brilliant. Like the fact that it was simplistic, but it still had a good theming.
I actually want to go to Scarefest with Sibby at some point. Lovely in there. That'd be so funny.
Oh, Sibby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Sibby, you're gonna have to like come with us to a scare.
Well, if you like Scarefest, I highly recommend coming to the Museum of Horrors live actor experiences. They're a little bit different to Scarefest.
Do you want to talk about the Dino event?
Yes. So, Dinosaur Breakout, it's returned for its second year. I was just about to say it's still ongoing. It's not ongoing now. It's finished, unfortunately. It's a great event. It's full of dinosaurs, and it kind of gives you a smaller experience of the park. So there's Thomas Land is open, and a few other rides, but not a huge selection. And they have dinosaurs that are roaming the park for you to meet. I wouldn't say it's a breakout per se. I'd probably say it's more of a dino discovery, dino encounter. Because as you can see there, the dinosaurs are all just very polite and very well behaved for a breakout.
I like the Triceratops though. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, he's the Triceratops is amazing. They also had a baby one as well, which you can meet with like tiny handheld Triceratops baby, and they were just really cool to see. But yeah, all of those are fully interactive, full scale dinosaurs, and you know they're so cool. You kind of look at them and go, I want to take it home. Just because they're so cool.
I just want to say thank you to Joe for putting that, but also you can check out Drayton Talk and Theme Park Sanity links in the description as well.
Joe, thank you so much. That's really appreciated.
And also, if anyone wants to buy my book, the link is in the description. Oh. In fact, if you're going to Nemesis Open Weekend, buy my book because you can use that in the queue line. It's a puzzle book, word searches and crosswords.
I would, but I've already started mine.
Yay! Some people have already bought them for Christmas, but obviously if you want to get your own as well, go for it.
How was the show different? Because it looks like it's got more dinosaur emphasis in Thomas Land. The show.
Yeah. So the Thomas Land show for this one is they kind of redo the entire show. So instead of it all being Thomas songs, they do a song they sing about dinosaurs instead. It's dinosaur themed. In this case, it's the story they were using was, we're going to show you a dinosaur bone, and then they haven't got the bone, they've got someone's hat instead. But it's a fun little show. I know it's with the show very similar to the Rory show that they do for Dinosaur Breakout. It's full of these really catchy, annoying songs that are going to get stuck in your head forever. I think they used the same song actually as the Rory show this time. I heard it in one area, then went to the other area, and you heard the exact same song from both shows. But it's a lot of fun. Definitely one the your little ones would love. Nice and enjoyable.
That looks pretty impressive as well.
It does look pretty cool.
For reference,
I like how it's been
I feel like
It
I'm
just
going to
makes me look really tall.
I like the fact that it's got one of my favourite dinosaurs on there. The one with
What,
the club
T-Rex?
the one with the club tail.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
I can't pronounce it.
That one.
Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus, that was it. I don't know why I wanted to call it something else because there's another version, but that's one of my favourite ones.
So I'll set up this quiz now, and if we have time after, we'll talk.
Badass.
I feel like the hour rushed by then.
Too many things to talk about, Drayton.
But we've got a quiz.
Everyone in the comments can join in.
We'll let Elise have a go. I think she'll get. They're mostly multiple choice, and I think you'll get them.
I like multiple choice. Oh, goodness.
What year did Maelstrom open? 1999, 2001, 2002. By the way, Maelstrom is the best flat ride in the UK, by the way.
It is.
Yes, someone agrees.
You
both agree?
I really don't know this one. One of the things that I'm really bad at is years of things opening, but I feel like, for some reason, I feel like it might be 1999 for some reason.
Is that what you want to go with?
Yeah, I don't know why though.
I thought B actually, but I don't know.
I'm not sure on that one.
Let's see.
Oh,
Everyone's
what?
telling me I'm wrong.
I'm never too sure how many people in the comments are using Google.
Yeah. I was going to say, I couldn't see.
Come on, be honest.
What's the name of this Thomas character?
Oh, no, I'm going to get told off for this one.
Oh, really?
I know this one.
I actually quite like this flat ride as well.
I know this one.
I don't know this one. I know the name of the ride, but I don't know yet. No, I don't even know.
Isn't this the flat ride where if you sat, it's either if you sat at the front or sat in the middle, you're actually just facing a wall?
I think it's if you're in the front on this one.
It's definitely Tornado. So, yeah.
Some people put
It does begin with a T.
Yeah,
We've got Trevor, Toby.
I don't know my Thomas characters very well. I admit I have to actually Google them half the time.
Toby.
Double check which
I
ones
want to blame you for not
about
knowing
them.
It's all right, Toby.
What year did Pandemonium close? Now, this is what I've gone by what the internet said, because I think it stopped operating before they officially closed it.
Every time I went, it kept breaking down. It kept breaking down
Yeah,
before I actually got on the ride.
It's a weird one because it's not really. It was kind of not doing a lot for a long time.
It wasn't doing a lot for a while, but then there was a year according to the internet where they actually said it's not going to come back now, and that's the year I'm going by. But we're not keeping score on this.
I feel like it was 2018 just because I don't remember it being mentioned after the pandemic. But to be fair, anything that happened after 2020 till now was just like a blur for me at dates.
Dave saved me though. He says definitely say yeah.
Because
I think it might have actually stopped operating, but they didn't actually announce it's never coming back till 2021.
I think I'm thinking on when it was like before it stopped operating. Oh, I know this one. There you go, an easy one. This one's a haunting. I like this one. It'd be interesting if Jormungandr was based in the vicarage. That'd be an interesting Viking story for sure.
Hello, Andy. Evening and all, I'm loving the new trains on Shockwave theme. Really hope the next big project is a new dark ride in the Pirate Adventure Building, as Pirate Cove is the only area that's not been touched.
I think it will come in future. Let them get past the current investment with the Wild West themed area, and I think they'll work their way towards the pirate area. That's my personal thoughts anyway.
I just want to say at this moment, obviously because you know a lot about Drayton, you'll know it anyway. But apart from you, the only person I've ever heard say it out loud, I'm gonna butcher it now. Jormungandr. Is that how you pronounce it?
Jormungandr.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
yeah.
But only you and someone else called Coaster Dad. Everyone else I've ever met has gone, however you say it, or I'm not going to attempt that.
Well, my personal favourite is people who type it out on the forums. There's one person who, every time they sort of say it, instead of like typing it out, they'll put or something instead. And it makes me laugh every time. So I just sit there and read it, and it's like, just typed it in this way that you try and pronounce it. It's just the funniest thing. It's just such a weird one to say and type. That was the Black Revolver for that one. Another ride that I didn't actually ride.
I have actually got photos of that. I'll bring it back up afterwards.
I never got to ride that one.
You know what ride is right, but you know what ride you want to say.
There was Apocalypse, but I think Drop Tower is another valid name for it at this point. Oh, that one. That would be Shockwave.
The reason I know
this one is because I looked it up 5 minutes before I started the show, just in case it came up.
Do Do you feel it's ironic that Shockwave opened in '94, the same year as Nemesis, and now it's having something done to it, and it's sort of being overshadowed by Nemesis again?
Yeah, part of me's trying to work out if they did that intentionally or not. So obviously, it's a milestone celebration for both coasters. So I think they were both maybe thinking the same thing, and then didn't, because obviously these parks won't communicate with each other as to what they're trying to do. So I think they both thought, let's do something special for this anniversary, and then I think Alton Towers beat them to it. Ooh, that would have been G4, I think, opened that one because of the 4 and
Yeah.
I remember that one very specifically because I think my mom was a big fan of G4.
I thought that was going to be one that caught you out, and you seemed to.
This sounds really silly. I don't know what songs G4 did.
They were like an opera band that were from X Factor or Prince. It was from X Factor, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah.
one of those shows.
My mom was a big fan of them at the time. I remember that much. They were really big, and everything. They've just like they disbanded or something. They're kind of like vanished.
The steps open to Stormforce 10.
Oh, that's good to know.
I didn't know that.
So he should be on the show instead.
And then also, is he part of the Drayton Talk team?
Oh, can we borrow?
Mike keeps asking me all the questions.
Also, I just want to point out, Joe from TPI said a Chocolips should be a ride at Cadbury World.
Yes.
And does anyone in the comments also think they should have left it a year before opening this new coaster? Do you think they should have left it till next year?
I think they should have, because it's a big year for coasters, and it's not just Towers that are opening their coaster. Legoland have got their one opening as well. Hyperia as well for Fort Park. Probably the worst time to try and open a new roller coaster, in my opinion.
I feel like Legoland are in the same boat though, because they're kind of getting forgotten about as well.
They are, but I think Legoland and Drayton have their sort of target audience, which is very different to Alton Towers and Fort Park. So I think that probably works in their favour.
Yeah.
Do you think Drayton Manor has a lot more local visitors?
Yeah, I'd say they have. It's one of those parks which is quite close for a lot of people, especially in the Tamworth area. So I think they have a lot more local visitors.
Which rides company manufactured troublesome trucks?
Oh,
I know it's not intimate. It is. Like, this is where my information goes out the window. For some reason, I want to say A.
Yeah.
on which past ride could you meet a dragon?
That'd be Excalibur, yeah.
Excelsior would have been good though. I really do miss Excalibur because a lot of people, again, like you said, with the rides to the top of the hill, would walk past it because it was almost.
It's kind of been closed really weirdly in its own like alcove.
Yeah, because it was massive. Like that lake is massive. Is that still there? All that lake? It must be.
Yeah, it's all still there at the back. I know a while ago when I don't know if you can still see it very much now, but if you go where the sort of Tamarin Trail is at the back of the zoo, you can kind of just look over parts of it, and you can actually see you can see little bits of where the ride used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can still see it, but I know at some point you used to be able to see some of the theming elements from Excalibur just still there.
I would have thought it'd be quite hard to put something. Well, I don't know how the ins and outs of intricate construction, but to get everything out of that lake that's in there that pulled the boats around and stuff, I can imagine that's quite a hard job.
Yeah, and I can imagine it's probably sunk a bit as well, because I've seen the front part of it drained a few times in like earlier parts of the season, and it's quite mucky, muddy, like that muddy clay-like nastiness that you get at the bottom of pools and stuff. So it's not really. I can't imagine it being very nice to go in there to try and get stuff out of it.
Like silt.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
For anyone who didn't know about the Black Revolver, this used to be around the back, kind of where Air Race is now, but it was round pretty much connected to that. Is it still a chicken restaurant?
Yeah, they've still got the chicken restaurant there.
It was kind of connected around the back of that. I mean, you can see G-Force in the background slightly, but there's one photo inside, but it was just a waltz from the dark, which is such a cool concept, I think.
It's one of those things that, again, everyone walked past because you didn't know what it was.
Didn't say on the outside what it was.
I know, I walked past it enough times.
You got Apocalypse. I don't know if I miss Apocalypse.
I'm seeing it as you drive towards it.
didn't do Black Revolver.
I do like Cranky's Tower, not been on it in a while. But I think that's fun. I like little bounce towers like that. They're quite fun. Have you been on it?
That's more my speed, yeah. Little bounce towers are much more my thing than Apocalypse. As everyone will know, I try and keep my feet as firmly on the ground as I can.
It was
Look at that
one of the last
monster.
times. One of the last times we visited, and there was a load of us, and then there was like one kid who wasn't with us and his parent in the queue, and so the queue line was like adult height, kid, adult height for this little drop tower.
Yes, I do remember that.
And they were like, only so many of you can go on at a time. It's not built for adults.
It's the same sort of problem with Submarine Splash, because obviously it's so themed for such small people.
Yeah.
So whenever you have an adult riding Submarine Splash, it kind of has the same sort of thing where you just kind of have like adult, child, adult.
I do like this. I like the swinging ship there, but I also like the location it's in on the edge of the water.
It's in one of the best locations, I think, to have it right on the waterside.
Can
Does
you
make you think go in it.
Can you wait for the back now? I remember last time we went, it might have just been the guy that day. He said you can't wait for the back. You've got to go wherever this. If you're in the queue and there's space, you've got to go on, sort of thing.
I think it depends on the operator and it depends on the day. I mean, if it's a quiet day, then they'll probably say, yeah, go on, you can wait for it.
I think out of all the times we've been, I've never been on that one.
I was just behind the scenes
Never been
G-Force.
on
This
that
isn't
yet.
here anymore.
I know where it is, but I was like, I've never been on
Whenever I
that.
talk about Drayton Manor on the show, which I've done a few times before, I always bring this photo up because I've not linked the video. The video still exists on the internet. We got behind the scenes tour of Drayton Manor, and he just said, "Yeah, just walk over the wheels." Scariest thing I've done.
Oh, that's terrifying. Kieran's just pointed out as well, just going back to Excalibur again, we do have construction photos of it on the forum. So if you are interested in seeing construction photos of certain rides, we may have some on the forum.
Awesome.
I'm going to go and look.
Sorry, I just missed that comment.
But yeah, we do have the forum's full of like construction images, behind the scene images, where similar to these ones, where they're accessible, obviously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on the forum at the moment. It's like a weird promotion there on that.
Do you have to have a login to go on the forum and stuff?
Yeah, you create an
Sorry,
account,
I was just like, I'll try and create one and see if I can join in a bit.
Yeah, so general forum promotion, I guess. DraytonTalk.co.uk, I believe. I'm not.
Yes, the link's in the description.
Yeah, had to double check that one because sometimes
I think it's in the description anyway. If not the YouTubers,
yeah.
You sell the hoodie?
We do not. Nope. This is my one, unfortunately. More so that people can identify us on. Seeing some of the pictures, I change my hairstyle, hair color all the time. So it's a bit of an easier way for people to spot me on Park. But we do have the forum, which is free for anyone to join if they would like to. It's really quite sociable. There's loads of friendly people on there, and we talk all sorts of things, Drayton Manor. And yeah, you can kind of see some of the weird and wonderful thoughts that people have on the forum.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you wanted to promote before we wrap it up? Or say to people,
No, not really much I can think of. Obviously, as the main season comes in and we can get on Park a lot more, Drayton Talk is going to do a lot more stuff on Park. I think one of the things I was talking about potentially doing is I'm going to start doing some more videos on Park as well, because we're mostly active currently on TikTok and Instagram, but we're trying to bring back the YouTube channel a bit more. So we should have some more sort of video content coming up, from old footage to new footage, and maybe even some ride-specific content that I'm looking at working on as well. So questions like, is this ride suitable, or what is this ride like? We might start answering those on YouTube as well.
Awesome.
Just trying to be a bit more helpful.
Yeah, everyone's click the links in the description and they'll take you there.
Yeah.
And check out Theme Park Insanity as well, because you're on that as well, aren't you, Elise?
Yes, I do vlogs and TikTok content and other content on their channel as well. Next vlog that I'm doing with them, I'll be at Alton Towers on Sunday, as long as we don't get rained out by the storms that are coming over.
Is the pirate takeover still on?
Yeah, it's the last day of the pirate event, so I'm going to be very late to the party, going to see the pirates. And hopefully see Nemesis testing if I'm really lucky. But if my experience with Shockwave, having the cars go in on the day I'm not there, is anything to go by, I might be unlucky on that one.
Are you going to go on opening day for Nemesis?
I'm hoping so. I would, but at the moment my annual pass is locked out because I've got 3 bookings already on
Oh,
there.
okay. So you got to wait to see if there's still tickets.
Hopefully I can get myself booked in on Sunday so I can get to opening day as well. And then hopefully if I get my annual pass renewed, I'll be at the pass holder day for Drayton as well.
That'd be good to see a vlog from
I'm
that.
really
just to see
busy
what it's
going
like.
to theme parks.
Are you gonna, if you get to go to the Drayton Manor annual pass day, you're gonna vlog it? It'd be cool to see if
I might do.
what it's like for the annual pass day.
I might do a little vlog on that one, just especially because we'll be able to see that new area as well of the top of the park, a bit more opened up. So I'll give it a go and see if I can get one done for that as well. Going to be doing so many vlogs this year. It's going to be quite fun.
Oh, Sibby, yeah.
Amazing.
What was it? I don't want to say it again, but Sibby was the first time Sibby came on our show last year, and we were talking about the curse, and I happened to bring up something that was in it, and he turns to the camera and is like, "What? That's in there? I've not been on it." And I was like, "Oh,
No.
I can't remember what it was, so I'm not going to." But no, everyone loves you being on the show, Elise, by the way. So go and check out Elise's stuff. Did you want to tell everyone who's on the show next week?
Sorry?
Did you want to tell everyone who's on the show next week?
Next week we have got Surfer Girl.
Do you know
But
her name?
you know.
Cherie, who was on... she came on for February SA. She came on for US May, which were both puns. But she's going to be on next week.
She's so lovely.
She's at Disney at the moment. It's her birthday. And she wants to show off a lot of merch. Because last time she came on with Rich from Bloom & Cheeser, who is a very... he collects a lot of high-end, rare Disney stuff. So every time she puts something on camera, he was one up.
There is a collection competition, I do believe. So,
but she'll be on talking about her birthday and in Disney World, which she's at the moment.
So happy birthday to her as well.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's just so lovely to see everyone's enthusiasm.
And then
for so many different parks.
There's some other people lined up. The week after, that's the last show before our 2-year anniversary of this show. So I don't know if the week after I might do something special, but
Happy anniversary.
I have something to add.
Yeah, what you want.
There is the photography challenge for this month. I know we're towards the end of the month now, but the prompt that I've got for this month, it just needs to be one photo, and it's just red. It sounds random, but just red. So anything that's got the color red in it, take a photo and then just tag me in it on my Instagram, Stacey LE. Exactly. You can just take a photo of it and then put it on stories. Tag me in it, and then I'll just put it in my stories, and then I'll stick it in my highlights. It's just a mini shout out. So if anyone comes across the page or anything, then obviously it's a shout out to you guys. So yeah, thank you. But also it's a bit of mindfulness. There we go.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone for watching. Check out the links in the description and check out Theme Park Insanity as well. And Dave, it's actually the 2-year anniversary is actually before episode 100, so it's going to be a good month next month. But I don't like to hype myself up too much about that, really.
Yeah. I'm done. So,
did you want to say does Elise know the catchphrase?
Elise does not do things.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll see you.
Three of you.
Because for now,
We're gone.
bye.